Continental, Season 1, Episode 3. It's the final episode. Welcome back. I've been reviewing these, even though I didn't like it. I didn't like the first two. I did think that the second episode was better than the first episode. And again, the third episode is better than the second or the first episode. So this is something that actually does get progressively better. I will at least give it that. However, I still don't think this is a good series. I don't think it's worth watching. But if you do want to watch it, it's on Peacock with audio description. I would say, now having completed the series, probably the one entertaining thing that came out of this was Mel Gibson's performance. I feel like we're not supposed to talk about that anymore. We're not supposed to, I'm not supposed to be like, oh, Mel Gibson was really good in this. He really just, I don't know, he just kind of gave like 100%, went all in on being the villain. And now that we're in this place where we don't like Mel Gibson, he kind of makes for an excellent villain. So kudos to the casting team for, both ignoring the noise, but also using that noise, channeling it into your casting, and then putting somebody that the world seems to hate into a person you're not supposed to like. You know what I'm saying? Like, into this weird role where people are like, I don't know if we like Mel Gibson right now. Have we forgiven him? No. Well, let's put him in villain roles then. He's still a good actor. So, he ends up being sort of the best thing about this series. My problem with the franchise is that there's just way too much dialogue in it. The third one episode felt very, actually more like almost feature length, especially if you had chopped up the first two episodes and maybe thrown like an extra 15-20 minutes cobbled together from footage from those into this film. You probably would have gotten an actual film, and then they could have just released it. It wouldn't have been very good, because none of this is very good, but it would have contained the most interesting plot, which was the actual invasion of the Continental, which is actually what they're leading to, which is to go in and go after the guy and kill him and take over his hotel and set up Winston's path for becoming the owner of the Continental. So, this guy still does not feel like he's the Winston that eventually becomes the Winston. That's kind of a huge problem for me. Again, there's a ton of dialogue. There's almost no dialogue in the film franchise. It's just constant fighting sequences. Here, they'd rather just stop and chat a lot. There's very few interesting fight sequences, very few things of note. It's easier for them to go for an interesting kill than it is to sustain an action sequence that actually looks cool for a certain period of time. I say looks cool because I assume, based on the audio description, that these scenes, maybe it looks like terrible ass. I have no idea. But there aren't that many, and they're really short. Anybody who fights for any length of time, some of the sequences in the John Wick franchise go on for like 10-15 minutes. These go on for like maybe 60 seconds if you're really lucky. Like, you might get 60 seconds of straight action before they feel the need to have lots of smarmy dialogue. And it's just unfortunate. I don't know how else to describe this. It's one of the most disappointing things I was excited for that I think I've ever seen, where I was like, oh, cool, they're making a John Wick TV series. That'll be cool. It'll be stylized. It'll be whatever. This just kind of feels like this could have aired on like NBC. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is just whatever. This is just some trash that they put out that was the the TV adaptation of a film. You know, this is on the same level as like Minority Report that Fox made, or that Limitless TV series that ran on CBS, you know, or way back in the day when they tried to make Phenomenon into a TV series. I mean, they've done this before, and it's just as uninteresting and has absolutely no resemblance of what made the first thing good, and it's just not that fun. This is the most fun because it has the most action. Also has a lot of Mel Gibson just being angry. He's a terrible boss because he just everyone is expendable. You know, he's just like, oh, you work for me? Fuck you. You know? But yeah, it's not good times. So, I don't really have much else to say. I've said it already all in the other 3 episodes. This is exactly what I said it was, which is, yeah, this is how he becomes in control of the Continental. You know, it wraps up the storyline of the first 2 episodes. All of those random sort of side characters, it kind of shows you where they end up. Shockingly, not everybody dies, even though most of them are irrelevant in terms of larger scale of the franchise. We don't see them again. They don't have like a place in the John Wick universe. So I don't know really what the point was of leaving so many people alive at the end of this. I was far more interested in the one guy that they have posted up across the street. His stuff was kind of quirky and interesting and fun, and the way he approached his lines was sort of like, the situation that they had him in was just more interesting. But other than that, the best reason to watch this show is to watch Mel Gibson be an absolute douche, way over the top, so scene chewing all over the place, and just a really solid villain. He would have been a great villain in an actual John Wick film, but this makes me fear Ballerina, which is, I believe, coming out next year. So, terrified of future spin-offs from the John Wick universe. Maybe it's something we shouldn't be doing. So, I hope they don't make a second season of this. I hope we never see it again. It's so far below the quality of the original franchise. The audio description is fine. It does a pretty good job throughout all of the action sequences, especially focusing on the violent ends to certain people. The action sequences are not nearly as difficult to describe as they are in the John Wick films. John Wick Chapter 4 is a masterclass in audio description. This is just kind of like, it's managing around a lot of dialogue, and basically some people die in not great ways, and that's about it. So this is how enthusiastic I could possibly get. I would need like 18 Red Bulls to seem more excited about something that I really just don't want to be talking about anymore. But I feel like everybody on the internet is trying to be talking about this Continental series. I don't think everybody likes it, but I don't know why we all watched it. It's going to be a baffling experience where we all just sit around later like, why did we all watch this? I don't know. It just felt like we had to. Peacock will like confuse that with ratings and be like, no, don't confuse it. I don't know why we watched this. I watched the whole thing. I gave them their metric, but that does not mean that I would watch the second season of this. I didn't even think I was going to watch the entire first season, but I was like, it's only 3 episodes. So 3 long-ass episodes, but only 3 episodes. I don't even know how long this episode was, like an hour and a half maybe. I felt like I was in it forever. But when you don't like something, sometimes things feel a lot longer than they actually are. So don't watch this. That's it. That's my recommendation. My final grade for the third episode of the Continental is going to be a C minus. We went D to D plus to C minus, so we did get incrementally better with each episode. It did get slightly more interesting as the series progressed, but I haven't rated a John Wick movie below B plus. So, yeah, if you if you want to know where I stand on the franchise, there's a massive difference between the films and the TV series. So, avoid if you haven't started watching it yet. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. Thank God I don't have to come back next week and do another episode of the Continental. Oh, fuck yes. I'm so happy. I'm so happy this series is done. Goodbye. So long, farewell. Auf Wiedersehen, good night. I am just jettisoning this show. I normally, when I do my TV roundups on my website, I normally don't watch films that are graded this low for more than one episode. And I watched 3 of them. This is why I don't do that. There's so much TV. Why would you? Just tap out. If you're going to grade something at a D to begin with, why would you watch more of that? So, thanks for watching. I hope you click subscribe so I can see you when I review other things. And see you on the other side.